Good day everyone. So this PowerPoint, for this presentation I'll be using this PowerPoint and an Excel file. So the following concepts will be used. First, population versus sample. Population is the totality of our scores, while sample is a subset. Parameter, these are the values assigned to population, while statistic, the values assigned to our sample. Sample mean and sample variance. So these are the mean and variance of our sample scores respectively. The lesson is all about the sampling distribution of the sample means. These are the following objectives. First, understand the concept of sampling distribution. So I'll be using Excel to show this to you. At the end of the activity of the Excel, we can describe the distribution of the sample mean for samples obtained from a normal population. For the third bullet, I'll be using another PowerPoint for this. This is the definition of the sampling distribution of the sample mean. So it is similar to probability distribution, but instead of probabilities, we will be writing the sample means. These are the suggested steps. So you have to obtain a simple random sample of size n. Then you will compute the sample mean. Do this repeatedly until you have all. And lastly, construct the sampling distribution for the sample mean. Let's have this very simple example. Three students, they have the following ages of their cars. Student A, 2, student B, 5, and student C, 8. Find the mean of these three. So simply getting the average of 2, 5, and 8, the answer is 5. So we can say that the average number of years of the cars owned by these students is 5. Let's construct a sampling distribution for these samples. We're using a samples of size n equals 2. So I have the following here. Of size n equals 2, we have AA, AB, AC, BA, BB, BC, CA, CB, and CC. So there are 2, okay, and there are a total of 9. So let's use Excel. So I have the following here. The population, we have, to make the lesson very easy, or the concept, let's use only 3 as our population, a small size population. So we have 3, we have students A, B, and C, the values 2, 5, and 8. Again, the mean of the ages of their cars is the average of these 3, which is 5. So the population mean is 5. We have a sample size n of 2 here and have a total of 9 samples. I will list down the scores of A here and the score of A again. For this one, the score of A, then score of B, which is 5. Then do the same thing for the rest. I've done it already, so I just change the color to, okay. Now we have the following pairs here. We will find the sample mean of each. So the sample mean is the average of the 2 scores here. Then I'll just copy paste or drag this one. So we have the sample means of each sample or pair. So we have the sample means. We will now find the mean of the sample means. So again, the average function. Okay, so the mean of the sample means is 5. Any observation? What can you conclude between the mean of the sample means and the population mean? Okay, you will reserve your answer later. Let's now have the variance. Our population here is 2, 5, and 8. So the variance is 6. Okay. Now, let's have the variance of our sample means. So, the variance of our sample means. Okay, let's have the variance. So, using Excel, the population variance is 6, and the standard deviation is simply the square root of 6, and we have the square root of our variance. Okay, we have this figure, 2.44949. Now let's move on to the variance of our sample means. To find the variance of our sample means, we will find the average square distance of the sample mean from the mean of the sample means. So let's have the computation. So the sample mean of 2 minus the mean of the sample means, the average square distance, so raised to 2, and then it says average, so we have the square here, and then we'll do the same thing here. So the variance of the sample means is the average of the square distance, so we will get the average of these numbers here. So average, and we have 3. So the variance of the sample means is 3. How is 3 related with our variance, population variance here, which is 6? Or how can you make 6 become 3? We can use our sample size n, which is 2. So if you know the population variance, then we can get the variance of the sample means using the sample size n equals 2. So 6 divided by 2. Okay, so after getting the variance of the sample means, if we will get the square root of this one, we call that the standard error of the mean. And the formula, the square root of this is this one. So there's no more exponent of 2 here. So just like what we observed, the variance divided by the sample size, that is the variance of the sample means. And when we get the square root, we have the standard error of the mean, which is square root of 3. Now, we have undergone the following procedures and steps. In our next examples, you won't be doing any of this table, any of this average, or even the sum. You simply use the observations we had, and there are the following. First is, the scores are normally distributed, so any sampling distribution of the sample means is also normally distributed. The mean of the sample means equals the population mean. And lastly, the standard error of the mean is, we have this formula. The population standard deviation divided by square root of n. Okay, that's all. Thank you guys.